What the heck is going on, football fans? DF Stu here. It's week 11. We're trying to forget about week 10. Today we're going to be doing something I like to call That's My Guy. Basically, we're going to go position by position. We're going to pick one player that I think is in a very good smash spot or a value spot. And then later in the week, we're going to take these guys and we're going to build some lineups with them. Enjoy. So normally what we like to do before we go ahead and start picking any players is we like to check the spreads for the week. We like to target the games that are going to have the most projected points scored. Unfortunately, this week's a little bit different. All the games are sitting in that high 40 over-under mark. Instead, what I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to be asking myself when I select a player, does this game project to be competitive? Do I see a path where both teams are going to be forced to want to drive down the field to score points? Because let's be real, when it comes to football, a lot of teams waste a lot of clock because they don't need to score points. At the quarterback position this week, we've got Lamar Jackson in what should be a bounce back game against Tennessee. We got Aaron Rodgers against a tough Indy defense, Herbert, Roethlisberger, but we're going to go at 6,500 and pick Deshaun Watson. If we go ahead and ignore the windy game in Cleveland last week, ever since Bill O'Brien was fired, Deshaun Watson has been putting up very, very good fantasy performances. As a matter of fact, this is the cheapest we've seen Deshaun Watson since O'Brien was fired. Playing against New England obviously comes with its usual concerns, but New England's defense hasn't been anything too great this year. I mean, just 2 weeks ago, Joe Flacco dropped 3 touchdowns on the New England defense. But the thing I like about Deshaun Watson the most this week is that his wide receivers are priced fairly cheap. And then if you want to go onto the other side of the ball to New England, their wide receivers are very, very cheap. I mean, it's kind of like throwing a dart, but maybe Julian Edelman's back this week. He's priced at only $4,300. Deshaun Watson, that's my guy at quarterback this week. Moving on over to the running back position, we're going to go with our cover boy this week, Miles Sanders. So this is a place where I've got to ask myself, is this game going to be competitive? Well, Philadelphia at 3-5-1 sit atop of the NFC East. If they want to stay there, they're going to have to keep winning. I believe Miles Sanders is going to be key to their success. I actually think Sanders is maybe a top 5, top 7 running back in the league right now. Miles Sanders was the 5th highest owned running back last week coming off a bye. And for box score watchers, it looked like he didn't have a great game, but he was incredibly efficient with the ball with 5.7 yards average. He had 5 targets. He just didn't catch them all. And then Boston Scott broke away with a 53-yard touchdown run, and Corey Clement punched one in at the 1-yard line. That's just kind of unlucky. I don't expect that to be the continuing trend. I believe that Miles Sanders is by far the most talented running back in that offense. Like if Sanders just punched that 1-yard touchdown in, he would have been sitting at 20 fantasy points last week. Maybe Sanders will be less owned this week because owners might feel a little bit burnt by his performance last week. Miles Sanders, that's my guy at running back this week. At wide receiver this week, we got to go with slant boy himself, Michael Thomas. I don't think I have to go too into detail about Michael Thomas. I mean, he opened the year costing us $9,000 to buy him. Now this week, he's at $7,300. That's quite the discount. We're also getting back the fantasy god himself, Jameis Winston, this week. Jameis Winston is a wild thrower we've seen in the past. He likes to throw a lot of touchdowns, but he also likes to throw a lot of interceptions. His interceptions alone usually keep games competitive where each team's trying to go up and down the field, trying to score as many points as they can. Usually I'm not really a fan of chasing points where they haven't been, but Michael Thomas is a superstar wide receiver. He's gonna break out eventually, and against an Atlanta secondary, I believe this is a great spot for him to smash it this week. Mikey Thomas, that's my guy at wide receiver this week. This feels like a weird week at tight end. I mean, we've got no Kelsey, we've got no Kittle, no Waller, no real exceptional guys that I want to pay up for. So I'm gonna kind of go with a middle of the pack kind of tight end, and we're gonna go with Austin Hooper this week. Before getting appendicitis, Austin Hooper was a target hog for a couple of weeks in the Cleveland offense. After he came back, well, we got that wind game. The ball just simply wasn't in the air very much. As a matter of fact, I think that Houston and Cleveland wind game is actually causing those players to be priced a little bit lower than maybe they should be this week. At only $3,900, Austin Hooper, that's my guy at tight end this week. At defense this week, I'm going to do something that's fairly unorthodox. I'm actually going to pick a defense that's playing against one of my players that's already playing, and that's going to be the Falcons defense. I've got nothing too crazy to say about the Falcons defense. They cost $2,300. They're playing against the Saints. The Saints most likely will be starting Jameis Winston at quarterback. I expect there to be a couple of interceptions at least thrown in that game. The Atlanta Falcons, that's my guys this week. All right, that leaves us with $23,100 to fill out the rest of this lineup. What we'll most likely do is we'll take our Deshaun Watson pick, we'll pair him up with one of his pass catchers, and then we'll bring it back with somebody on the New England side of the ball. Let me know in the comments below who you think I should pair with Deshaun Watson. Will it be Will Fuller, Brandon Cooks, or Randall Cobb? Or let me know who you think the best player on New England is going to be this week. That just about wraps things up for my That's My Guy Week 11. As always, if you enjoyed this video, leave me a like below, hit that subscribe button, or leave me a comment if you got something to say to me. Until next time, DF Stu, out.